We got a call for a broken razor that is stuck in rattlesnake. We're gonna go get it.
It is a beautiful morning. The rain stopped sometime in the night.
Plus
we'll
an
get 'em
additional
out.
$1,145 fine to Utah's Insurance Fraud Division. His attorney tried to minimize the damage, claiming these were merely technical violations, and that Matt's behavior was consistent with how AAA typically operated. But the damage to his reputation was already done. The man who'd built his brand on integrity had admitted guilt to defrauding an insurance company, even if only to avoid harsher consequences. The plea deal allowed Matt to avoid prison time, but it came with conditions that would follow him for months. 18 months of probation meant regular check-ins, potential restrictions on his business activities, and the constant reminder that one mistake could send him to jail. For someone who'd built his life around freedom and adventure, the legal constraints represented a fundamental change in how he'd have to operate. The aftermath of Matt's legal troubles was swift and unforgiving. News of the insurance fraud charges spread rapidly through the off-road community and among his YouTube fanbase, creating a divide that persists to this day. Some loyal supporters stood by him, arguing that insurance companies routinely deny legitimate claims and cheat customers, so why shouldn't it work both ways? They viewed Matt as someone who'd simply gotten caught playing the same game that corporations play every day. But many others felt deeply betrayed by someone they'd trusted to always do the right thing. The man who'd built his brand on helping others without expecting anything in return had admitted to manipulating the very system designed to help stranded motorists. Comment sections filled with heated debates between defenders and critics, with some fans feeling like they'd been lied to for years. Industry relationships suffered as well. Questions arose about whether other recovery operators might be engaging in similar practices, casting suspicion over an entire sector that had largely operated on trust and handshake agreements. The scandal forced many in the towing and recovery industry to examine their own billing practices and relationship with insurance companies. Matt's case became a cautionary tale about the temptations that come with rapid business growth and the importance of maintaining ethical standards even when opportunities for easy money present themselves. Some recovery professionals distanced themselves from Matt, worried that association with him could damage their own reputations and business relationships. Despite the legal troubles and reputational damage, Matt's off-road recovery has not only survived but continued to thrive in ways that surprised many observers. The channel now boasts over 1.9 million subscribers and continues posting regular content 3 times per week, suggesting that many fans either forgave him or never learned about the scandal in the first place. His view counts remain strong and his off-road games events continue to draw massive crowds to southern Utah. Matt has largely kept quiet about the insurance fraud case, choosing instead to focus on the recovery work that made him famous. His business model has evolved beyond just towing and YouTube revenue. He now sells merchandise, hosts events, and has expanded into multiple revenue streams that don't rely on insurance company relationships. The Heavy Wrecker, his massive custom recovery vehicle that he controversially calls the world's largest, continues to be featured prominently in videos, generating the kind of engagement that keeps advertisers happy. Perhaps most tellingly, Matt's legal troubles seem to have had little impact on his ability to help people. His comment sections are still filled with grateful customers sharing stories of how Matt and his crew rescued them from impossible situations. The fundamental appeal of his content, watching skilled professionals solve complex problems with creativity and determination, remains as compelling as ever. Whether you view him as a reformed entrepreneur who learned from his mistakes or someone who simply got caught remains a matter of personal perspective. What happens when a YouTube hero becomes the center of deadly controversies? Matt Wetzel seemed to have it all. Over 1 million subscribers watching his off-road recovery adventures, a thriving business, and the respect of an entire community. But behind the cameras, a web of deception was unraveling that would lead to felony charges, a tragic death linked to his methods, and questions about whether YouTube fame had corrupted the very man people trusted to save them. The story of Matt's downfall isn't just about one man's mistakes, it's about the dangerous price of influence when things go horribly wrong. Matt Wetzel's journey to YouTube stardom began in the most unlikely place, on rooftops across Utah. For over a decade, he worked in the roofing industry, spending long days under the scorching desert sun, building a reputation as a reliable contractor. But Matt had bigger dreams than fixing shingles and installing gutters. In 2009, he made a pivotal decision that would change everything. He bought a small shop along with the assets of a struggling towing company, founding Red Ryder Towing. The transition from rooftops to tow trucks wasn't immediate success. Matt spent years learning the conventional towing business, working long hours and building relationships throughout southern Utah. By 2013, he had acquired Wumble Towing, the company that would eventually become the backbone of his empire. For 10 grueling years, Matt worked in traditional towing, helping stranded motorists, clearing accident scenes, and dealing with the unglamorous side of roadside assistance. Everything changed when Matt discovered the world of off-road recovery. Friends introduced him to kinetic energy ropes, a game-changing technology that made previously impossible recoveries suddenly feasible. Matt quickly realized this wasn't just about helping people, it was about creating content that people desperately wanted to watch. In a world saturated with boring towing videos, Matt's off-road adventures offered something completely different. The Matt's Off-Road Recovery YouTube channel exploded with popularity as viewers became addicted to watching Matt and his crew tackle seemingly impossible situations. Whether it was pulling million-dollar Jeeps out of quicksand, recovering crashed planes from mountain ridges, or rescuing tourists who had bitten off more than they could chew, Matt's team made it look effortless. His catchphrase, "We'll get 'em out," became legendary among off-road enthusiasts. The channel's success was staggering. Within just a few years, Matt had accumulated over 1 million subscribers and millions of views. The revenue from YouTube, combined with his expanding recovery business, transformed him from a struggling contractor into a wealthy entrepreneur. He built a state-of-the-art shop, invested in cutting-edge recovery equipment, and assembled a team of skilled operators who shared his passion for impossible rescues. Matt had achieved the American dream, turning his passion into profit while helping people in their darkest moments. But success would soon reveal its shadowy side, and the very empire Matt built would become the foundation of his greatest controversies. While millions of viewers watched Matt's heroic rescues on YouTube, a different story was playing out behind the scenes, one involving deception, fraudulent claims, and a systematic scheme to milk money from AAA. The insurance fraud that would eventually destroy Matt's reputation didn't happen overnight. It was a calculated pattern of behavior that lasted nearly 2 years, from January 2019 to August 2020, during the crucial period when his YouTube channel was exploding in popularity. The scheme was surprisingly simple yet devastatingly effective. Instead of billing customers directly for his off-road recovery services, Matt would tell them to sign up for AAA memberships after the work was completed. He would then instruct these customers to file claims with AAA, claiming they needed conventional roadside assistance rather than specialized off-road recovery. The problem? AAA's policies explicitly don't cover off-road vehicle recoveries, and Matt knew it. One particularly egregious example involved 3 vehicles that were supposedly towed to Salt Lake City. AAA paid Matt's company $2,800 for each vehicle, a total of $8,400, but investigators later discovered that no vehicles had actually been towed at all. Instead, Matt had simply delivered construction materials using his trucks, and then convinced the customer to file false claims to cover the cost of this completely unrelated service. Another incident that would later haunt Matt involved a Polaris RZR recovery from Sand Hollow State Park in April 2020. This recovery was actually featured on his YouTube channel, watched by thousands of fans who had no idea they were witnessing evidence of insurance fraud. The RZR owner used his friend's AAA membership and claimed that Matt's company had towed his friend's truck instead of the off-road vehicle, circumventing AAA's clear policy against covering recreational vehicle recoveries. When confronted by investigators, Matt's response revealed the twisted logic behind his scheme. He admitted to the fraudulent claims but defended them as being wrong on the front end, but fair on the back. In Matt's mind, he was providing legitimate services and deserved compensation, even if he had to lie to get it. He described similar arrangements with other customers, creating a pattern of deception that investigators would eventually trace to over $15,000 in fraudulent claims. The irony was devastating. While Matt's YouTube audience saw him as an honest hero helping people in distress, he was simultaneously running a sophisticated fraud operation that betrayed the trust of both his customers and the insurance company that was supposed to protect them. In the aftermath of both the insurance fraud conviction and the Ryan Woods tragedy, Matt Wetzel faced the most challenging period of his career. His reputation was in tatters, his credibility questioned, and his influence as a recovery expert severely damaged. Yet rather than retreating from the spotlight, Matt made the difficult decision to continue operating his channel while attempting to address the mounting criticisms head-on. Matt's approach to damage control was multifaceted but cautious. He began including more explicit safety warnings in his videos, emphasizing that viewers should not attempt to replicate dangerous techniques without proper training and equipment. The casual, carefree tone that had made his channel so popular was replaced with a more serious approach that acknowledged the real dangers involved in recovery operations. Matt started explaining why certain techniques were dangerous and what proper safety protocols should look like. The insurance fraud case resolution brought some measure of closure, but the financial and reputational costs were significant. Beyond the $17,000 in fines and restitution, Matt faced the ongoing challenge of rebuilding trust with both his audience and the broader recovery community. Some fans remained loyal, viewing the insurance issues as technical violations rather than moral failings. Others felt betrayed, questioning whether they could trust someone who had admitted to defrauding an insurance company. Matt's business operations continued, but under increased scrutiny. Every recovery video was now analyzed by critics looking for evidence of unsafe practices. The community that had once celebrated his innovations now watched with skeptical eyes, ready to pounce on any perceived mistakes. This level of scrutiny created a paradox. While Matt was now being more careful about safety, the constant criticism made it harder for him to operate with the confidence that had previously defined his channel. The YouTube algorithm, meanwhile, seemed indifferent to the controversies. Matt's channel continued to generate views and revenue, proving that audience appetite for recovery content remained strong despite the legal and safety concerns. New subscribers who discovered the channel might be unaware of the past controversies, while longtime fans seemed willing to overlook the issues in favor of continued entertainment. Matt's attempts at rehabilitation included participating in safety discussions and acknowledging past mistakes, but the shadow of Ryan Wood's death continued to haunt his legacy. Every recovery video carried the implicit question: was Matt's influence worth the risk that someone might copy his techniques and get hurt? The answer remained elusive, leaving Matt trapped between his desire to continue creating content and the growing weight of responsibility for his massive audience's safety. The story of Matt Wetzel serves as a stark reminder that YouTube fame comes with dangerous responsibilities. His journey from roofing contractor to internet celebrity was destroyed by insurance fraud and linked to a preventable death. While Matt continues operating under scrutiny, his legacy raises critical questions about influence and accountability in the digital age. When entertainment intersects with deadly activities, creators must consider whether their content puts lives at risk. Matt's downfall wasn't just about legal troubles, it was about the crushing weight of influence when things go catastrophically wrong. Fame without responsibility can have fatal consequences,